Guys, welcome back to True Crime with Shannon, where I cover missing persons, unsolved cases, crime news, and more. Well, there have been 6 deaths in the last 3 months within a 100-mile radius in the Portland, Oregon area. Now, up until a couple days ago over the weekend, law enforcement was not saying too much about them being related. They have since come out with a statement saying that they believe they're not related. But before I get to that, I want to show a clip from News Nation and also go over what we do know so far about the case. And these are the 6 victims that have been discovered thus far. The last photo there on the bottom right is a sketch, because this one is an unknown victim, and I will be going over each victim as well. So let's check out the News Nation clip.
Police are investigating another case, whether a serial killer could be on the loose in the Pacific Northwest. Authorities in Oregon and Washington, they're looking into the suspicious deaths of multiple women found across the Portland area in the last several months. Now, these women were all discovered in rural, wooded areas. Right now, investigators are still unclear if the cases are linked. Nick is here with more on that. Nick.
And investigators are working, Adrian, to see if they are connected every angle of the case of the 6 women found dead across Oregon and Washington in the recent months. Now, while most of these women have been identified, authorities have only been able to determine the cause and manner of death in only one case. The first woman, Kristen Smith, was found in February. The latest, Ashley Reel, on May 7th. In between, the bodies of 4 other women were found: Joanna Speaks, Charity Perry, Bridget Webster, and an unidentified woman, or Jane Doe. That Jane Doe is described by investigators as being of possibly Native or Alaskan Native descent, between the ages of 25 and 40 years old. Authorities say Jane Doe has 2 large scars on her lower left leg and 2 tattoos seen here: a black music note with the letter V on the left side of her upper chest and a Buddha tattoo on her right shoulder blade. They were all found in wooded areas within 55 miles of downtown Portland and within 100 miles of each other. 2 of the women were discovered in Portland, 2 in 2 rural Oregon areas, and 1 in an Oregon State Park along the Columbia River, and 1 in Washington State. Now, to date, Speaks is the only victim whose cause and manner of death has been determined, which was blunt force trauma to the head and neck. Speaks' family haunted by her death, which is still being investigated as a homicide.
Her sense of humor is going to be probably missed the most.
Definitely. She was so full of life.
She wouldn't have just let something happen.
No.
She would have fought back.
While law enforcement doesn't currently suspect foul play in Jane Doe's death, there's not enough evidence to rule out the possibility that some, if not all, of these cases are linked.
It's definitely something that they're looking at. They're aware that there seems to be some similarities there, but it's too soon for them to say that there's, anything directly linked between these.
Well, Sergeant Skidmore talked about those similarities. Investigators are looking to the public for help and are asking for tips on any suspicious activity anyone may have seen in the Portland area from the end of March until the start of May. Now, authorities are also asking anyone who was in contact with Ashley Reel, the victim found most recently this year, to please come forward.
So this is a very odd case. And up until yesterday, which was June 4th, as I record this, so that would have been yesterday, law enforcement did not dispel the rumors / possibility that there was or is a serial killer involved. They've since put out a statement stating that they don't believe a serial killer, is involved. So the Portland Police Bureau did put out a press release yesterday, June 4th at 4:01 p.m. I'm going to read that, and I'm still going to go over all what we do know thus far in this case. The Portland Police Bureau, PPB, have been hearing widespread questions and concerns about the death investigations of 6 women throughout the region, especially after widely distributed social media posts and news media articles appeared to suggest a connection between them. These discussions have led to some anxiety and fear in our community, and we want to provide reassurance that the speculation is not supported by the facts available at this point. While any premature death is concerning, and we will diligently investigate deaths that happen in our jurisdiction in collaboration with the Multnomah County and Oregon State Medical Examiner's offices, PPB has no reason to believe these 6 cases are connected. The PPB case of Kristen Smith remains under investigation and no additional information is available. The cause and manner of her death is so far undetermined per the medical examiner. The latest information on the case is available here, and they do give a link. Detectives are asking for anyone with information about Kristen's death to contact them. The death investigation of Ashley Reel is also continuing by the Clackamas County Sheriff's Office. Previously released information is available here, and there's another link. PPB Missing Persons Unit detectives are coordinating with Clackamas County Sheriff's Office on the death investigation. CCSO is describing hers as a suspicious death, but they have not concluded that she was the victim of a homicide. Anyone with information is encouraged to contact the detectives via the tip line listed in the press release. Another of the cases that is being listed in this group involves a death investigation on April 24th, 2023 at 3:09 p.m. in the 9500 block of Southeast Flavel Street. East Precinct officers responded to a report of someone found deceased inside of a tent. Officers assisted the medical examiner on the case, but the ME is primary investigator as they have the expertise to determine cause and manner of death. There is no indication that foul play was suspected by the ME responder on the scene or the officers who were there to assist, and the PPB homicide unit has not become involved in the investigation. The latest available information on that case is available here. Another link. To be clear, PPB currently is not involved with the Ainsworth State Park, Monona County, and I'm sorry I'm butchering that county's name. I apologize to the locals. Polk County and the Clark County death investigations. We have spoken to these agencies regarding these investigations, but as of now, we are not actively participating in them. It is common investigative practice, whether it is retail theft, robbery, SA, or murder cases, to consider possible connections to other cases both in and out of our jurisdiction. Like with all investigations of this nature, we are routinely in contact with our law enforcement partners. That has happened here, but that should not suggest a connection has been made. We ask that our community be aware of the facts about these cases before sharing speculation. PPB is assuring our community that if we learn of an articulable danger, we will notify the public about it. PPB will continue to coordinate with other law enforcement agencies to ensure we are doing all we can to pursue justice for any and all crime victims. Because these cases involve open and active investigations, this will be the extent of our statement on the matter. We are respectfully declining news interviews on the topic. Well, that's not surprising. Yeah. So they're trying to tell the media and the public that they don't believe at this point that a serial killer is involved. That doesn't mean that it isn't a serial killer. They're just saying that they don't believe so at this time. But again, this is just a presser to squash rumors. That's how I am reading it for sure. What we know thus far about the potential or alleged Portland serial killer. Now, again, I do have to reiterate that law enforcement, at least Portland, is stating that this is not, at this point, a serial killer. 6 women under 40 were found dead in the past 3 months. Now, these women were found within 100 miles of each other in rural areas. All of the women are believed to live either in Oregon or they frequently visited the state. The first body was discovered by authorities back on February 19th. Various law enforcement agencies, including the Portland Police Bureau, are actively investigating the case. I believe they have 5 agencies on this case right now, which of course that can change at any time. And of course there's unclear of what links, if any, exist between the women, which I'm assuming that last key point is why they're stating that this is not a serial killer. And they do not have a lot of causes of death at this point for 5 of the 6 victims. Now, the timeline that we are looking at up until this point, February 19th, was the body of Kristen Smith was found in a wooded area in southeast Portland's Pleasant Valley neighborhood. Then on March 27th, Ashley Reel goes missing. April 8th, the body of Joanne Speaks was found dead inside of a barn. April 10th through 11th, the area of Portland with downtown Fentanyl Market, an area where Charity Perry was frequently seen, was cleared by police. April 24th was when the body of Charity Perry was found. April 24th was also when the body of an unidentified woman found less than 3 miles from the body of Smith was located. April 30th, the body of Bridget Webster was found. May 7th, the body of Ashley Reel was found after she went missing on March 27th. And lastly, May 25th, Smith's body was identified. So that is the basic breakdown of the timeline that we are aware of at this point. Okay, as far as the victims are concerned, at this point, we've got Kristen Smith. She's 22, reported missing on December 22nd. Her remains were found on February 19th in a woody area in southeast Portland's Pleasant Valley neighborhood. Now, her cause of death is yet to be determined. Then you got Joanna Speaks. She's 32 from Oregon, and on April 8th, her body was found inside of an abandoned barn in Ridgefield, Washington, located about 22 miles north of Portland. She died to blunt head and neck injuries, and investigators believe her body was moved to the location after her death. Number 3 is Charity Lynn Perry, who is 24. Her body was found in a culvert near Answorth State Park in East Monmouth County on April 24th. She was frequently seen in downtown Portland at the beginning of March. Details about her death have been withheld due to an ongoing investigation. And the 4th victim is the unidentified woman, which they also mentioned in the news clip. This is another woman who was found dead on April 24th near southeast Portland's Lent neighborhood, less than 3 miles from where Smith's body was found. The woman is yet to be identified, but is believed to be of Native American or Native Alaskan descent. They believe she's aged between 25 and 40. So definitely, if anyone is familiar with her identity, that is very important to law enforcement and the medical examiner. The 5th victim is Bridget Leanne Ramsey Webster, 31. Webster's body was discovered on Harmony Road near Mill Creek in northwest Polk County on April 30th, and her death is being treated as suspicious. So again, they do not know her cause of death at this point. And the last and most recent victim is Ashley Reel, who is 22 from Portland. She disappeared on March 27th and was last seen leaving a fast food restaurant in southeast Portland. Her remains were found on May 7th in a heavily wooded area in the Eagle Creek region. So at this point, those are the victims. Let me pull the photo back up. So these are the 6 victims that we are aware of at this point, who may or may not be connected. Now, Portland stated that they're probably not, but, I have to say, in my opinion, it's very odd that all these women are found in a 100-mile radius. What are the odds? Sincerely, what are the odds? So, hopefully they'll figure out the causes of death for the other 5 victims, and most of all, hopefully they can figure out the identity of the unknown Jane Doe, so that her family can have some closure on that one. So those in the area, please do pay attention to her sketch, and as well as the tattoos that were posted in the News Nation clip. So I'm going to keep on this one, keep an eye on it. Like I said, there's no real connection except that they're all in the Portland, Oregon area within a 100-mile radius of one another, and they're all highly suspicious deaths, and they're all women. So it's regardless of whether it's a serial or not, they're all very suspicious deaths because these are all young women who otherwise would not be deceased. So, all right, guys, that's all I've got for this one. So let me know what you think of this one. Have you heard of this case yet? And what do you think? Do you think this could be the work of a serial killer? Or do you think that, you believe what Portland police is saying, that they're all suspicious and they all seem to be near each other, but they have nothing to do with one another? So I prefer to keep an open mind, and I don't know. I think that serial terminology I'm loosely using it at this point until we know one way or the other. All right, guys. I hope you have a great rest of the day, and most of all, stay safe.